Welcome back to Side by Side Plays. I'm in the antechamber, and I'm joyful, jubilant, jumping jacks.
Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you to join us here today on Side by Side Plays. We're playing Great Ace Attorney 2.
What's that? What we're doing? Locums to Mr. Naru Esquire in non-locum judicial assistant Miss Shikuquaza Esquire. Now, finally, at long last, there can be proof. We are in fact playing Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Also proof that I'm innocent and proof that my tea is innocent. Ah, good morning, my dear fellows.
Where the fuck were you yesterday?
Here, Locke Holmes. Now, may you drink my tempted tea and fall forever silent.
I thought the tea was innocent. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. I can tell you didn't wash your clothes before you came in. That's really embarrassing. You should. It's gonna stain. Anyway, how wonderful that you're here as well.
Please save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's clearly nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces.
Nobody said or thought anything of the sort.
The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought, tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. This is true ADHD representation. I love this game so much. Such spirited determination has a beauty of all of its own, does it not?
Oh, yes.
And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. In fact, it didn't come to me at once. It came to me at 1 in the morning. And then I continued to think about it for another 3 hours. Well, is it not an astute insight into the matter?
Oh, yes.
Upon which realization I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. And the results? By first night, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so, the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. Good night's sleep is quite simply essential.
Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already.
What others presuppose, I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this?
Ah! A bottle! Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to...
I did drink it, after all. It took me a while, but I got through it. I managed to confirm that it contained strychnine, the mysterious liquid that we hadn't even know existed until just now. Perhaps, though, of course, such circumcised evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. Because I licked inside of the neck. It'll be an indirect kiss, Mr. Renosuke.
Random person, can I have a word? Gregson.
Gregson, my dear, how good of you to come. Forget it. Excuse me.
Oh no, he got on his invisibility skateboard.
I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself.
From the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself.
My dear Inspector, please, get off that skateboard and speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here. Believe me,
Spit that shit out, Inspector! Do you have the investigation of Mr. Shamsphere's room?
Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm hearing about something else. The dead convict, actually.
Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamsphere's room? A man by the name of... Ah, yes, Selden.
I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fella's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye.
Something caught your eye? What, Inspector, what?
I've copied out the relevant parts for you. Now you can read it for yourselves.
Thank you. The capital offenders file has been entered into the court record. Surely this won't be necessary or important at all. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder, died of natural causes whilst in poison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. The estimated £1,000 worth of loot he stole remains uncovered. Manchester's Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. And then there's a bottle. Oh my god, the bottom of the bottle. No! Even if we lose the trial, you can't drink any of it. Stupid! No, we mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruto! This file include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we can probably toss this out. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though?
Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful.
Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here's a shining diamond in its crown.
Shining diamond in the rough, maybe?
Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way to the courtroom at once. Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding it off at all. Certainly not.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes, for sleeping in our wake.
I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache in floods of tears, personally, so best of luck to you.
Welcome to the Mr. Naruto, Esquire.
Yes, Mr. Nutsby?
It's time, isn't it?
Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspeare. This is going to be the final battle. I won't really have saved Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session once again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim of the case we heard her only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores.
Thank you for that backhanded consideration.
A rather cold assessment from the Honourable British Prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zeeks, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand? Yeah. Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord. Very well then. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in.
I really just need like a bone clattering sound that I can just make anytime the bailiff is called. So I can just rattle, rattle, rattle. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please.
William Shakespeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that he be a tragic victim to be pitied.
Currently unemployed.
And other.
I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no, not a fledgling, really. A really hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit she has no talent, I suppose.
Also currently unemployed.
What a bitch. Mr. Shakespeare?
My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for naught else, my lord.
It's Miss Green.
Yes.
You are aware of the reason you have been summoned to the courtroom today, I presume?
As the officer did explain.
That guy.
He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon.
And? Do you accept the charge,
I
Miss
love
Green?
that she painted an arrow.
I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady, die! To live! Verily, I know not thy prickly, pea-pigmented personage.
Holy shit, is that a Persona 5 reference? Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever go to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in hospice, fighting for my life.
Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Gerideb household. What? An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days.
I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other relevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Your energies may be rather spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green.
At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shakespeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened.
Oh no, the incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that often incident?
Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shakespeare.
Huh? But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned.
Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimonies to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road on the evening of the 17th of February.
Squish, 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 squish.
It was 6 days ago, about 8 p.m. or 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this cave have their lodgings.
I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakst, for I had bespoke my supper.
It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all of this business.
Yes, the second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. What? You made a noise.
Yeah, I'm stretching my back.
I see. One can only presume this is a most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shakespeare. 'Twas the following morn, when I did awaken, that I learned of the latter events. Mary! What a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine! When Sasaki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, you mean? As suspected, there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance. But I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it. Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses, if you may. Yes, my lord. There was something to do with either this stiff one or this one. Because we need to connect these two together first before anything else. A tavern, you say? Which one? 'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End. And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Van Zeeks? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining, for the locality at least. Not as an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room. Oh, how dare you speak this truth? It's true. The menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness. Gross! I would have expected Grub's grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your ilk. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be? Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. So Mr. Shakespeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions. I think we... I'll say not at the moment for now.
What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
It was nothing really. It's not worth mentioning.
Okay, stop.
If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital. It was related to the card you were holding.
Miss Green!
From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross.
Oh, what does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan.
Point. Point. Excuse me. Mr. Shamspear, do you have something to share with the court? Boink. Boink.
To be, or not to be? That is the question. Pray forgive me. The great Bahad's words springeth from within me with ne'er a thought.
Don't tell me. It's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit or something, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps?
Well, nay, sir, 'twas nothing at all.
Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house.
I would, or it is so, but sadly nay, lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me.
So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours.
Meh. Miss Green.
Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before, containing the note, do you have it upon your person?
I do, yes. But I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please.
There we go. That's what links Shamspear to Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross. Duncan my balls.
Hold it!
Oh wait, shit. I did load, didn't I? Fuck, I was gonna save. Shit. Wait. I'm sure there's an autosave I can go. Yeah, there we go.
Hold it!
Bleep, bloop. Oh, fucking...
Excuse me.
Hey!
the wiles of man? Why must you tempt me with the wiles of man? Alright, I will save now, not load. I have evidence, maybe. Mr. Shamspear? Yes, sir! On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason? I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakest. That's not a real word. Very well, I will present the court with evidence. This thing. Nope. Meh. My little mouse friend says that I should not present evidence because I don't have any.
Should you look at the evidence and put it?
Maybe. The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah. What is it? The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen it that exact same shape somewhere before. You don't mean... Were you thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruto? That's it! We'll have to match them up. Pulls out the fucking music box from the first game. Alright, now we put it here, and then we use our stereoscope to look at it in 3 dimensions, Mr. Naruto. Here we go. Whoa! Holy shit! Whoa!
Okay, stop. Have you ever looked up your arm bones?
Yeah.
Why are we built like this?
So fun to think about. Bones just literally twist around each other.
Mm-hmm.
Bippity boppity boopity, put it in my poopity. Ethereal. Beautiful brides. Alright. Now I think I do present that evidence. Let's all roast this man for a 3rd time. just...
I think you want to do the torn piece because that was in his room.
Take that!
Nope.